Season 5 of AMC's The Walking Dead is right around the corner.
I wanted to make this video 2 weeks ago, but that didn't work out, so here we go. So there are two video previews in particular that I'm going to talk about. One long one that debuted at Comic-Con, and a shorter one that came out a couple weeks after that. Each has similar scenes arranged in asynchronous chronological order. And I'm assuming that only some of that is from the first episode. I'm assuming it's bits scattered out throughout the front 8. Speaking of order, one of the AMC Walking Dead's producers and occasional writer, Scott Gimple, he said that the season premiere was going to go something around the lines of, it's going to start out intense, then it's going to make a left turn, then it's going to get intense again, then it's going to make another left turn, and then he mumbled a little bit, and I don't understand what he said, and it was the end of the show anyway. So, my presumption is this. The intense start out is we're going to pick up essentially right where we left off. Our group is inside the train car. The termites toss tear gas into the train car. There's a struggle, and eventually Rick and company are going to wind up bound, gagged, and taken away. Cut to Tyrese, Carol, and Judith. They are on the road. They find the signs for Terminus. They might even find the sign that Maggie had marked for Glenn, or Glenn for Maggie. Well, I don't even remember at this point. Anyway. Then we return to Terminus, where Rick and company are bound, gagged, on their knees, in front of this food trough, with also some people that we haven't seen before, some strangers. Then some serious nastiness happens. Then Rick and the termites come to some sort of deal about Rick and his group going off to Washington. But what is it that makes Rick so determined to kill all of the termites?
It's not over till they're all dead. They don't get to live.
This isn't a knee-jerk overreaction. Rick is not fuming with rage. He's calm, collected, and calculated. The termites do something horrible, and most likely something personal, that drives Rick to the point where he feels the only solution is to kill all the termites. And it's not Glenn getting killed, because Glenn's not going to die. Okay, if you have seen my video reenactment of my reaction to issue 100 of the Walking Dead comic, which went a little something like this. Then both of the AMC Walking Dead preview videos had this in it, clearly paralleling a shocking moment from the comics. However, Glenn's not going to die, because we see many other scenes that clearly take place after this trough scene with Glenn and, in fact, all of our group alive and together. This whole scene is a red herring. It's meant to briefly titillate the people who don't read the comics and, frankly, terrify the people who do. So what is it? What does Gareth and the termites do? For a moment, I thought that he might be getting ready to kill Bob Stuckey, but now that doesn't happen either, because he is also in those scenes that we see that almost certainly happen after this trough scene. But they do certainly kill someone, because there's white meat on that table, so I'm just guessing that they kill some random unknown stranger that is next in line from Glenn. And, you know, it's just going to be a sleight of hand where we think the guy's going to kill Glenn and he's actually going to kill the other guy. So what is it that is the deciding thing in Rick's brain that says, nope, these folks all got to die? You think, well, does Gareth do something to Judith? Does he keep her hostage? Well, no, because we see Judith alive and well and with Rick in these later scenes. So is Rick just reacting in general to the fact that they are cannibals, that they're eating people? Or is there some other nastiness that we haven't seen any hint of in the previews that takes place? One way or another, though, Rick and his crew, they're all together again, and they're on the road again, presumably to go to Washington. Why does Gareth just let them leave? Why does he trust them? Does he just let them go as some sort of proof that he isn't a monster? We are led to believe that there's some kind of method or reason behind the termites' way of living. Perhaps the show will draw parallels between the two groups along the lines of the recurring theme of doing anything that's required, even if it's horrible, to protect your own group. Maybe we're supposed to believe that the termites just aren't evil nut jobs. Maybe they trusted in the past and were betrayed and something horrible happened, and now they say, okay, well, everyone but our tight group is food from now on. So what if Gareth somehow forces Rick and, who knows, any other members of the group to eat human meat, to, indoctrinate them into the termites group? Sort of, you're one of us now, so to speak. Maybe that's what drives, Rick to the point where he's like, nope, all these people gotta die. But does Gareth really trust them? Maybe not. Maybe Gareth does send chaperones along with our group. Or he has our group secretly trailed, and then Rick and company kill the termites who were along with them. And just when we're grateful that all of our group is together again, something happens. So not just do 3 people go missing somehow in a way that isn't explained in the previews, but that event forms a wedge in the group. This group that was united against the termites is now becoming splintered again, with Rick wanting to go back or to go wherever these missing people are, find them, rescue them, whatever, but Abraham saying, no, we got to keep going toward Washington, and, he and Rick butt heads. So now just some character notes. This is Father Gabriel, who in the comics anyway, becomes a regular character. What's happened to make this man so sad? Or is he tormented? Did he do something shameful, I wonder? Look at Abraham. Look how broken he is. What's happened to make him this way? Is it something that happened in the episodes? Or is there something from his past finally bubbling up to the surface and coming out? Look at Eugene. Look at that expression. That's the look of a man who has a mighty weight on his shoulders. Gareth, who has an immediately recognizable charisma, albeit a little creepy, whether a born leader or a made leader. From what we've seen so far, he has a comfortable role as the leader of the termites. What is seemingly a very organized and yet perhaps small community. Now contrast this to the other antagonist groups we run into so far, the Claimers. Essentially a pack of dogs controlled with violence and unyielding rules. And then you have the governor in Woodbury. The governor ruled through deception, coercion, and fear. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with this group. And finally, Rick, who became leader, not exactly necessarily that he wanted to be leader of a group, but he did wind up being the best at convincing everyone around him that the way he wanted to do things was the best way to do things. And yet, and this is true in the comic and in the TV show, many of the benefits to the group that come from his decisions or actions are really secondary to the fact that he's doing most of what he does for selfish reasons, to protect his family. Furthermore, and this is once again true in the comic and in the TV show, many of his decisions have led to immediate or ultimate disastrous results and sometimes main character deaths. And this leads ultimately to his whole farmer character arc in season 4 and having coping issues that manifest them in audible hallucinations and then visual hallucinations. However, Rick has reached a turning point. Look at him. Look at those eyes. Don't look at his hair or his clothes. Look at his eyes. In so many scenes, his eyes are clear, collected, determined. Not only will he become confident with his role as the group leader, but he will continue to expand his idea of what his family truly is. And we've already seen evidence of that in Season 4, where he called Daryl his brother. We even have the clip from the previews where he says, "These people are my family." And he is finally, in Season 5, going to become the leader that the group actually needed back in Season 1. So that's all I got, folks. Thank you very much for watching. You are going to see this episode before I do because I don't have AMC. I have to wait until the next day and get it from Amazon. So, I'm out!
If you'd like to make a call, please hang up and try again. If you need help, hang up and then dial your operator. Thank you. If you'd like to make a call, please hang up and try again. If you need help, hang up and then dial your operator. Thank you.